Hi, folks. Welcome to the 41st presentation hosted by AlmonTravel, CARP, and tonight Kensington Tours, held every Tuesday at 6:30 Atlantic time. As in the past, this presentation is being recorded and will be on the CARP Travel website shortly after. A bit about us. In business since 2003, that's 18 and a half years now. We have a number of focuses on our business, but we can do most things. One of them has been destination weddings, with 130 destination weddings in the Caribbean area from across Canada. That translates for the CARP demographic into family gatherings, anniversaries, retirements, that sort of thing, extended family and friends to go away. That experience that we have with the Caribbean also translates well into Caribbean area vacations, adult only or family vacations. When we arrange for destination weddings, we usually go to the destination and then take a fair bit of our time to actually go around and visit different resorts to check them out for suitability. So it gives us some hands-on experience. We also do extended family Florida trips. We focus on theme park vacations like Universal Studios, Disney, SeaWorld, and Busch Gardens, and have been to many of those theme parks several times. River cruises is one of our major specialties. We've actually experienced 10 different itineraries around the world, including Asia. In Vietnam, 2 itineraries, the Mekong with Cambodia, as well as the Red River in the north of Vietnam. We've also done the Yangtze in China. We've done the Nile in Egypt, as well as the Rhine and Danube in Europe, and the Rhone in southern France. We've also done the Po River in Italy, docking in Venice for much of it, and Portugal's Douro River in Europe. And finally, the Mississippi on an old-fashioned paddle wheeler in the United States, which was kind of fun. Ocean cruises, the most popular itineraries. We've done Hawaii, we've done the Mediterranean, we've done the 3 Caribbean itineraries. We've done a cruise around the UK. We also have cruised from New Zealand to Australia, and of course, Alaska, always popular. Coach tours, from local bubble tours like a tour of Newfoundland and Labrador, to coach tours around the world. We work with a variety of touring companies to find the best option for you. Travel conditions, hasn't been a whole lot of change since last week's presentation. We have in Nova Scotia over 80% of the population vaccinated. Good news last week was that the US border is now open for Canadian travelers. Though vaccinations and COVID testing will be important factors on the return. That's a good sign, though. I figure every positive thing, like open access to one country or another, just increases travelers' confidence. And once that returns, then things will return to more of a normality. Another very good sign that travel is starting to return to normal is the coverage now being offered by some of the major travel insurance companies. While they won't allow you to cancel for COVID, they do offer, the major companies, coverage if you end up having to isolate a destination for 14 days. So that's promising. The travel insurance companies are probably the most conservative of all. If there's any risk, they will make it known and not insure you. So for them to move in that direction, I think is quite promising. My connection with CARP, the Canadian Association of Retired Persons, is through Bill Van Gorder, who is the COO and Chief Policy Officer for CARP National, as well as the founding chair for CARP Nova Scotia. Bill and I go back about 5 or 6 years when I worked with him under a charitable institution founded by him and a friend called 100 Men Who Give a Damn. And over a period of 3 years, we raised $400,000, all of which went to the charitable institution. There was no overhead. So as a result of that connection, Bill got to know me, booked a couple of trips through me, a river cruise in Europe and a cross-country train trip, culminating in a Rocky Mountaineer train trip. And as a result of his experience with us on those, he asked us if we would become the official travel agency for CARP Nova Scotia. And of course, we said yes. So now I'd like to introduce Samantha Gold, who's the account executive for Eastern Canada for Kensington Tours, who will be talking to us about what Kensington Tours as a tour company is, and in particular tonight, what Kensington and Ancestry offer in the way of a personal heritage tour. So Sam, please go ahead.
Perfect. Thanks, Danny. And very good point about insurance companies now starting to open up the policies, which is a very good point, because of course they're not going to want to take risk if it's not ready, if it's not safe to travel. So very, very good point. So yeah, my name's Sam. I've been with Kensington since 2018. So I actually come from a background, I've traveled all over the world. I lived in Australia, Southeast Asia, England, all over Canada. And I used to be a destination expert for Kensington. So I actually used to create trips for Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia, and I only sold that region of the world. Now I work with travel advisors from Ontario out to Newfoundland, as well as Bermuda. So very excited to be here. I actually had the opportunity to meet with Danny at his home in Nova Scotia recently, about, I don't know when that was, maybe 6 weeks ago. So yeah, we've been chatting about doing this, and happy to meet everyone here. So as far as Kensington, it's almost easier to say what we don't do than what we do, because we kind of do a little bit of everything. The biggest takeaway is we create custom private guided touring and exclusive experiences with no two trips ever being the same. So as far as something like a group tour, we do lots of multi-generational families, groups of friends traveling together, corporate events, and things like that, where clients are looking for private guided experiences. So if you're not too familiar with Kensington, you can always take a peek at our website or chat with Danny. But our bread and butter is really, we do private guide experiences. We're doing over 140 countries now, and we now go to 7 continents. So you'll see this picture behind me. I've got Antarctica behind me. I'm very excited. We just launched that a couple of months ago. So we are now doing the polar regions, and every single journey is completely customized and nothing off the shelf, no big buses. And we have what we call destination experts, over 150 destination experts now, and they're really our secret weapon. So I'm going to talk a little bit about them. And if you're ever wondering if we go to a certain area of the world, 9 times out of 10, we do go there already. And if we don't go to that specific region, then we'll just create it for you as well. So yeah, take a peek at our website. It's a really good starting point, but you can literally mix and match any of the excursions and the types of hotels and experiences from our website. And we have a huge database of all sorts of suggestions as well. So the best thing about private guided touring is you're going to be able to get this really in-depth access to a region that you're never going to be able to get on a self-guided tour, or maybe a big bus tour as well. So we really work closely with Danny and Debbie to be able to wow their clients and really create once-in-a-lifetime journeys. So we've won tons of awards, Condé Nast, Travel and Leisure, Travel Post, the Travi Awards, which we're always winning for our destination experts. And if you're not familiar, there's something called NPS scoring, and that is actually a way that you can score different businesses. So we never dip below a 90%, and we're rated higher than Disney, as mentioned, Ritz-Carlton, and Starbucks, which is pretty neat. I do want to chat a little bit about what it's like to travel now. I've been traveling quite a bit myself, so I've had experiences with this. We are including PCR testing for all of our clients, all of Danny's clients, in the itinerary. So I was in Costa Rica in September. We actually had that doctor come to the hotel, do the nose swab. We were able to go touring for the day and then have our results in our email by the end of the day. So we are including that in all of the itineraries. And this is particularly great if, say, you're going to multiple countries. If you're going to, say, Southeast Asia, you're going to 3-4 countries and you need a test for each one of those locations. We take care of all of that headache for you, so you don't have to worry about it. It's all taken care of. We also teamed up with CIBT visas, if you've ever heard of them before. So this is really going to be able to create an entry guide and give you all of the information that you need to be able to travel to your destination, including maybe other vaccines that you might need, a yellow fever or whatever it may be. All of the entry visas will organize all of that for you with Danny. And we've been given, the World Travel and Tourism Council gave us a safe travel stamp of approval. So this is a globally recognized distinction for health and hygiene. We also just extended our flexible booking policy. So If you book before December 31st, you can actually cancel your tour until 30 days before. And say you cancel 31 days out before, you booked Indonesia, we can now port that money over to a different trip. Maybe you want to go to Alaska now. So it's really, we're really trying to make clients feel more comfortable and ready to travel again with as little risk to them as possible. So this is just a video I'm going to play here.
Why are we so passionate about custom private guided travel? Because travel is about understanding, not just seeing. Travel is about discovering, not just checking things off a list. Travel is about connecting, not just passing through. At Kensington Tours, we believe travel is about crafting one-of-a-kind experiences that are personalised just for you. Travel that takes you to amazing places and moments that aren't in any guidebook. Travel where your exceptional accommodations are always carefully and thoroughly vetted. Travel that ensures that you're always with a local guide who works with you one-on-one. Because when you're part of a herd, you don't have enough space to discover the world for yourself. Custom Private Guided Travel by Kensington Tours. See the world differently.
I always get chills seeing that the elephant on the bank of the river and in that private boat going down. I want to do that experience very badly, as I'm sure Danny does as well. It looks fantastic. So this is just really a teaser about some of the touring that we can do. To talk a little bit about our destination experts, they are the ones that are going to be working with Danny to really create this once-in-a-lifetime experience for you. So as I mentioned before, they're super well versed in their regions. So I only sold Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia because I knew that area of the world very, very well. I used to live in the UK, didn't even sell the UK. We would have a different destination expert specialize in that region of the world. So they're going to know all of the ins and outs, from everything from if you have time at leisure, where you should go shopping, we can get concert tickets, we can do dinner reservations, all of those type of exclusive experiences, a little bit more of a concierge service that goes along with booking with Danny and Debbie and Kensington Tours. So most of our destination experts only sell maybe 4 or 5 countries, and they work really closely with the local teams in each one of those countries as well. So those regions really are their focus. So as well, when you do get a quote through Danny, one of our itineraries, every single page will have his contact information to be able to go ahead and start the booking process. There's a really great tip is to maybe hop on a 3-way call with Danny, Debbie, and your destination expert, because they're going to be able to give you maybe a lot of inspiration that you wouldn't have thought of yourself, maybe different routing, or maybe just get you excited about your tour. It's a really beneficial way to start imagining yourself in the destination and actually get the wheels turning to get you on your way. So private guided travel. If you haven't done this before, a private guide can either make or break your tour. We only work with the absolute best guides in the entire country. So all of our guides are vetted and trained all under the same standards. So if you're going to go to Peru or you're going to go to Kenya, you're going to get that same level of service no matter where you're traveling to. So I always give the example, in Japan, you actually need to be certified by the government to be a guide. So everything from like a AAA guide down to like a D or an F. So we only work exclusively with the AAA guide. So if you want to go during cherry blossom season or the fall colors, when it's very, very popular, as soon as we run out of those AAA guides, we actually stop quoting because we won't work with a guide that's not vetted by Kensington. These are often very bucket list trips. So we want to make sure that you're really getting a deeper connection to the area that you're traveling to, and only with the world's best informed guides with white glove service. So a couple of other examples, maybe you want to do a private wine tasting in a barrel cellar with a winemaker in Italy. That's very popular. One that I sold when I sold Cambodia. I would organize a private visit with an archaeologist in Siem Reap, Cambodia, where you actually get to go and see a lot of these artifacts not open to the public. Very exclusive experience. In Japan, maybe you're doing a dinner with a real live geisha, or we also have a lot of exclusive access in Egypt with a certified Egyptologist. So those are just a couple of examples of fun things that we can incorporate into your itinerary to really make that a once-in-a-lifetime experience. we also launched North America. So we were actually pretty lucky that we launched this late 2019, and it's just been so popular all the way through the pandemic, actually. So we launched starting with the US national parks. So we're doing Utah, Yellowstone, Alaska, Hawaii is on its way, actually, and we're also going to be adding California. Another popular destination is New Orleans. We're going to be adding Nashville, Savannah, and Charleston pretty soon. Eastern US, we're doing New York, Philly, DC, New England, and you can actually charter a private yacht off the East Coast, as well as Alaska, which I'll get into in a second, little teaser. And then in Canada, we're doing the Rockies. So you can do BC, Alberta. If you're not ready to go across the border yet, maybe heading over to Churchill, Manitoba, we can set you up with exclusive experiences, seeing the polar bears. You can go kayaking with beluga whales. And soon enough, we will be launching Eastern Canada as well. All right, private yachts. This is super exciting, and it's been very, very popular. This is great if you're a cruiser and you don't necessarily want to get on a big boat with all the other passengers right now. Why not thinking about getting, you know, two families together and chartering a catamaran in Croatia? So we're seeing a lot of multi-generational families, groups of friends traveling together, couples, corporate trips. We accommodate anywhere from 4 to 12 guests, and everything is included. So we include all your pre and post cruising, all of your land excursions throughout. You have the crew at your disposal, everything, absolutely, you know, your food, your alcohol, all your tipping, everything is included in the package as well. And we do have a yacht department with yacht specialists if you do want to hop on a call with Danny and Debbie and just ask some more questions. So we actually started off with 800 vessels. We are now up to 1,500 different private yachts all around the world. So really popular destinations have been the Mediterranean has been huge. As well, Polynesia, Bora Bora, Tahiti, very, very popular. We can do the Caribbean. And I think once Australia and New Zealand open up pretty soon, I think that will also be a very popular destination to do this as well. And we actually just launched as well, Seychelles and Mauritius and the Maldives. So if you really want an exclusive experience, why not do a yacht in one of those locations? It sounds amazing. And we just launched Bahamas, and I mentioned New England. You can actually do New England and Alaska private yachting as well. It's just one more video, what we're really excited about.
Discover a more personal connection with your family's history. Introducing Personal Heritage Journeys from Kensington Tours and Ancestry. The most captivating way to explore your roots. Together, we customize a travel experience around the most meaningful places and moments in your unique family history. Privately guided by experts who know the in-depth local history and culture, and who bring your family history to life. It's an unforgettable exploration of your family tree that can be led by your own Ancestry genealogist. Together, you can touch the same stones as they once did, walk the same streets, hear their stories. It's the most profound way to make your past come alive. A journey that makes your family history truly personal.
I must have watched that video 1,000 times and I still get shivers every single time I watch it. It's so well done. It's fantastic. So I do have a story I'm going to share in a minute. So this launched November 2020, incredibly popular. Funny enough, we actually started off with Western Europe and expanded all over Europe. And we've now added, Japan and Ghana. We're hoping to see a lot more Asia added pretty soon. And now we're starting to tap into some areas like Africa and Latin America. So super excited about this. So how this works is we would connect you with Danny, and a pro genealogist from Ancestry. Then they would do the whole background assessment. So there's 3 different levels. You can do a bronze, silver, or gold package. Depending on how far back you want to go and how much information is out there, sometimes it can take a few months to actually have all this information trickle through. So if you're not ready to travel just yet, but maybe next summer you're thinking about it, this would be a really great thing to, anticipation is half the reason we travel. So why not start the planning process and think about traveling next summer for a personal heritage journey. And then once all that whole assessment is done, then one of our destination experts that specializes in Ancestry would then start to create a trip that's never been created before. So I said I was going to share a story. So a few weeks ago, our destination expert, he's from Ireland, Alan from He's from Ireland. He had one of his clients and their travel advisor organize one of these trips going back to Ireland, Canadian, single solo traveler actually. And when she was going into this town, tiny little town that she was going to go meet her ancestors for the very first time, there was a couple of historians that lived in town, and they were so excited that she was coming that they opened up a church, never open to the public, and they rang the bells to greet her as she drove into town. And she called her travel advisor called Alan, and she was like in tears. She was so excited about what had happened that day. So just all sorts of really magical sort of experiences that we can create with your personal heritage journey. So pretty special, and really you only get one, so why not experience it with Kensington? So I just wanted to show an example itinerary of how much detail goes into all of these, all of the planning process. So I've given the example of New Zealand and adding on Sydney as well. So our itineraries are beautiful. We have beautiful imagery there. We really do customize absolutely every single aspect. So yes, take a peek at our website, but we will then only use that as a starting point and then start to change it depending on what you're looking for. So especially if you have a budget or a time of year, you won't see any start dates on our website because it is customized to the way that you want to travel. So just to flip over, so here you can just see a little bit of the detail that really goes into every single one of these itineraries, which is incredibly detailed. We go through every single aspect. So we include all your tours, your transfers, your hotels, all of your internal air. We can also organize all of the external air as well, international air. And then any of the experiences that you do see on our website, we can actually change those to make sure that they're customized exactly for what you're looking for. And just a couple of other services that we do have available. I already talked about air. We have an in-house air team to make sure that your trip is going to go off without a hitch. So if you run into bad weather, who knows what happens, right? It's travel and during COVID times, our air team takes care of all of that headache so you don't have to. So we do have 24/7 support, both here in North America. In Toronto, we have our customer care team for more sort of emergencies like missed flights or injuries, and then the local team as well. They're always available even by WhatsApp while you're in destination. You want a suggestion of what to do on your downtime or dinner reservation, or maybe you drank a little too much wine the night before and you want to sleep in an extra hour for your tour the next day, you can just WhatsApp your guide and we'll be as flexible as possible while you're in the destination. And then as well, if you're a cruiser, we go to 175 ports. So we can organize all your pre and post touring and do all of your private shore excursions throughout your entire cruise. So instead of getting on the bus with everybody else, we can have a driver and guide waiting for you at the port with your name on a placard, and then they can whisk you off to go and do whatever you'd like that day. And yeah, that's pretty much everything from me. I'll hand it back over to Danny here.
Well, thanks very much, Sam. I'll get around to a little more detail on that, but I did come up with a few questions that and comments that I wanted to make based on your presentation.
Sure.
It's amazing that every journey is customized. I have had the pleasure of experiencing several of our many trips that we've taken over the 18 years we've been in business that have been personally guided and personally planned. And I can tell you one of the beauties of that is that you coordinate the time. You, as in the traveler, coordinates the time as needed. We took our 85-year-old mother-in-law with us and felt that she had to be dropped off, right at the castle and right at the Shakespearean house and so on and so forth. And that, saved her a lot of bother to have to walk with the group up to the castle and so on and so forth. So I can attest to, these personal guides being absolutely fantastic. We also had a personal guide in Egypt and no large groups. I think there were just 4 of us. And again, the attention to detail there is fantastic. So yes, you're going to pay more than you would if you were just going on a group tour. But I think the experience is so deep, so much deeper than you would on a general tour. The idea of PCR testing and any necessary testing, to go to different countries takes a big load of worry off people's shoulders. It's fantastic. You and I started at the beginning of this presentation, talking about that and about the concerns, and when people are left to their own devices to figure out where to get the PCR test, and of course the cost of it, it can be very daunting. So to know that that's all included in your trips is fantastic.
Absolutely.
The idea of a three-way call. I mean, you and I have done Zoom calls together to pass around ideas. Certainly to include a client in that is a great idea too. And if it's possible to do a Zoom call, you almost it's almost as if you're all together in your office talking about it. So that's wonderful. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, and the idea of, again, something you and I talked about, small group tours or personal tours. You're not with a crowd. If you have concerns about COVID at this point, and I think most people do, if you're in a group of 2 or 4 people, very little chance of you being exposed to COVID, and that has to be a relief for people as well. I'm just curious about the personal heritage journey. If the assumption was sort of that it would be 1 or 2 people, but if a family, an extended family of 5 or 6 family members wanted to get together, that could be done too, couldn't it?
Absolutely. We do everything from, say, a solo traveler up into groups of 30. So yeah, if you wanted to have a family or maybe an extended family of 10, 12, whatever you're looking for, then we'll be able to customize that for you. Absolutely. Okay,
great. Yeah. I mean, obviously your requirements for housing is very different with 2 people as to 10 or 12 or something like that. So yeah, that's good to know. Shore excursions off a cruise ship, very personalized as well. One of the big concerns I have with booking excursions away from the cruise line is the cruise ship will wait for you if you're late. Do your companies guarantee that they will get?
Yes,
they will.
100%. Yes, absolutely. We guarantee that you get back to the ship. And if there's bad weather and the ship can't dock that day, any excursion that wasn't used, we'll just refund back as well. So you won't have anything lost if you don't make it to the port that day. Absolutely.
Okay, that's good news. It's always been a concern for me. I like to look at options for my clients who are doing cruises as opposed to whatever the cruise line offers. But there's always the concern that if I advise them to take this company or that company and they don't get back to the ship, that could be a serious problem for me as well as them. So,
absolutely. It'll be a big problem for everybody. No, absolutely. We do guarantee it. And we have a lot of exclusive experiences, like maybe, the shore excursion from the cruise is going and doing a cooking class that day, but we can actually maybe take you, say you're in Japan and we take you to a sushi making class in a local's home where it's only you and your family and the family there teaching you how to make sushi. There's all sorts of really unique experiences, maybe similar to what they're doing on the cruise, but in a more local, personalized experience. So, and we can customize all of that as well.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, Sam,
for
a great narrative on what Kensington Tours offers our viewers.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, just to close this presentation, folks, I want to remind viewers of next week's webinar on Tuesday, November the 23rd at 6:30 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, as we join Tony Perdito of Exodus Travels to have a look at tours around the world where they have partnered up with Canadian Geographic for specially designed tours with a Canadian Geographic expert on board. So thanks again, Sam. Wonderful talking with you over the past couple of months, and thank you for your presentation tonight. It's been wonderful.
For sure. Have a great week and weekend. Okay. Thanks, Danny.
Bye-bye.
Bye.